Welcome to Witch Draft. This is Jason Mark Anderman. Today I'm going to tell you all about the contract termination clause, and you'll get a good sense of the issues that come up again and again when it comes to term and termination. In particular, before you even get to your termination rights, you want to think long and hard about what the term of your agreement is going to be. Usually, most people go with a one-year term, but you can really specify any amount of time that makes sense to you. The other thing you want to make a choice on is whether or not after that 1 year, will the agreement just run out or will it be automatically renewed? If you're keeping a good eye on things, then you'll probably just say any renewal term shall be mutually agreed to by the parties in writing, so you don't have to continue your business relationship longer than you want to. However, if you don't keep an eye on all of your agreements and you know you're going to keep doing business with the particular company that you're signing, then you want to make sure that the agreement automatically renews for additional successive one-year terms, and that way you're covered and you make sure you have your contract in place without forgetting about it. The second thing you'll think a lot about with contract termination clause is survival. In particular, what clauses will survive the termination, expiration, or non-renewal of the agreement? In particular, you might have something around a warranty disclaimer or limiting your liability or indemnification, as well as any publicity clauses. You probably want to make sure that people aren't, for instance, using you to have as customer endorsements when you're no longer doing business with them because you're unhappy with their service. So that's why survival is important. Now, let's get into the actual termination rights. In particular, the first thing that comes up is termination for insolvency. And this is really where you're getting kind of scared that the other side might go bankrupt or not be able to pay any of its bills. If you're a customer, this could really concern you if they can't, if the vendor you're dealing with can't pay their subcontractors. Obviously, if you're the vendor and you've got some kind of exclusive relationship with your customer that limits your ability to market to their competitors, you don't really want to be locked into that if they're not even paying the bills. So you want to make sure that you can get out from under the agreement in an insolvency situation for your counterpart. The second thing that you'll probably think a lot about is a termination for a breach clause. And the way that particularly works is you specify exactly how long is there going to be for the other side to be able to fix any violation of the agreement. So if they breach or violate the agreement, how are they going to take to fix things? And you're probably particularly concerned about that too. So you usually say that we'll give you 30 days after I tell you, hey, you're violating the agreement, fix it, cure the breach. If you don't fix it within 30 days, then I can give you a second notice and pretty much knock the agreement out there and terminate it. Sometimes people do lots of qualifications of these kinds of termination for breach rights. They might say if it's only a material provision in the agreement, material meaning basically something really important, or they might say only a material breach where the provision has been seriously violated as opposed to something minor or technical. I like to stay away from those because everybody defines material in their own way and it injects a level of ambiguity into the agreement that you don't want. And I also think if it's a minor part of the agreement, then or if it's a minor violation, in both cases, it should be pretty easy to fix, so you should have that right. The last thing you might think a bit about is, as well, which is not shown here, is a termination for convenience clause. And that pretty much just lets you walk away from the deal anytime you want. And you would normally say, you'll terminate for any reason or no reason for your convenience and without cause. And that way you can pretty much just say, hey, the deal is over. I don't really have to give a reason. I just want to have maximal flexibility. So those are the kinds of issues you'll think about: termination for insolvency, termination for breach, termination for convenience, as well as the length of the term and what's going to survive after termination. Hopefully that helps you with drafting your termination clauses. Have a good day. Bye.